What's up, everybody? What's going on here? We don't got everybody in the thing. Let's see. Yeah, well, I'm trying to get everybody on here. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a very special episode of Fish and Grits, as we don't have Micah in the frame here. We're a little rusty. You know, it's been about 5 months since our last broadcast, but actually, if you notice on the screen here, we have a return guest, and it's been about actually 1 year since he was with us here. And he's kind of changed his title here a little bit here in the last year. We'll get into that here lately. But if you guys could put your hands together and give a very warm welcome to Falcons linebacker and NFL tackle leader, Foye Oluokun.
Yeah, superstar.
No, never that. Thank you.
You gotta accept it, man. You gotta accept it.
Let's get let's see. There we go. We're getting this worked out here. But Foye, how you doing, sir? How you been?
Been doing all right. Just enjoying a little bit of the off season here. Starting to ease my way back into workouts and stuff. Obviously, it's always about getting ready for the next year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming back on, man. I know it was a long season, and I know, you were up to a lot of stuff here in this season, and you've been doing a lot of training, but what was the first thing you did once we hit this off season here?
I don't even remember. When I got a whole bunch of drinks, got drunk. When I just enjoyed some off time with my friends. As I said, I went to Texas for a week. Went to Dallas and Austin. A lot of my Yale friends are down there. We kind of all met up down there. There's a whole bunch of birthdays that week, so just met up. Then went to see my family. First, I went to see my family actually in St. Louis for a week. My mom's still up there. My dad's about to get back up there soon. My brother, he'll be in and out of. He'll start working there after he finishes business school. So always got to go back to St. Louis, and then really just been chilling since then in Atlanta. Went to LA for the Super Bowl week from Wednesday to Monday. That was a pretty long week for me, but it was very enjoyable.
That's dope. Not to waste too much of your time, so let's jump into the business here. So this recent year, right, we had a pretty significant change in the NFL where we moved from a 16-week regular season to a 17-week regular season. How much time did you take off to where you're just like, all right, you know what, work's done for a while? I know you said you went and partied a little bit, but like, how much time did you get home and just kind of go, all right, I'm gonna just sit here and not move for an extended amount of time?
A week or 2 weeks, and I was like, if I don't move at all, I just feel like I'm losing everything that you gain. So that over the years, I just did like some light footwork stuff. No weights or nothing. I think the weights can wait for a little bit. Obviously, I just started lifting again, but I didn't want to just go and crush my joints. I just crushed for, as you said, 17 weeks instead of 16. I have a lot of, and the season didn't start up again for a while, and when you start training, like as hard as you can train for however long you do it, I do it for like 2 months right before the season. That you'll get ready how to get ready regardless of how long you take off. So it's more for me, like I know I wanted to work on this and this. Maybe I could just start lightly introducing that before I get really into it. That's what I just started doing.
Nice.
Did you get you some Skittles and M&Ms and stuff?
Yeah, I got a closet full. Are you serious?
I know you said. I remember the last time you said you just don't touch it during season, but now that you're free.
Yeah, I raided that closet. Got chips and M&Ms. Some of the stuff expired. It's been in there, so I had to go throw those away and then restock up on some stuff. So
Candy expires, does it?
Like the chips and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I remember I opened some Lay's, some kettle ones. Them like were two, like they were stale. I didn't open the bag before, and then some of the what's them called? Chex Mix.
Oh, yeah.
Big ass bag of Chex Mix I hadn't opened yet. Opened that, expired. I was like, dog, what?
What?
Been in the closet too long. Just me eating them in here. So
Man, well now everybody in our audience knows if you want some end of world food, it's not potato chips and Chex.
You know what? Actually, what would be your end of the world food for you? Like you know how on what was that zombie world? He was like always he was hunting Twinkies. What would be yours?
Probably some I would say Skittles or Airheads, but I don't think those are enough substance. I would say trying to think of the chip things I like. Pistachios, man, them things are fire. Yeah.
Just giant. Would you just plant them? Plant a pistachio tree?
Yeah, I feel like
Head up to the pistachio factory.
He'd raid the wonderful pistachio factory.
Freeze them jumps.
Oh man, I do love pistachio. A lot of people are not like. I know my wife's not really a big fan of them, but pistachios are a mad underrated snack. Like
they're good. I don't like putting them in stuff though, so I don't like putting them in bread or whatever. Ice cream and all that.
Pistachio ice cream is gross.
Yeah,
I sort of like pistachio ice cream. The green one.
Yeah,
hey,
I don't like ice cream that's not white. So I could do it green, like sprinkle in some strawberries, maybe like that chocolate swirl in there.
Yeah.
I gotta have a vanilla base.
Wait, doesn't Tom Brady eat pistachio ice cream, or is that avocado?
I heard
avocado.
That.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't do avocado ice cream.
That's that keto ice cream.
Pistachio ice cream.
Yeah. if it was pistachio and it made me play to that level till 45, yeah, I'd eat it every day.
For real.
Yeah, that was a secret right there. Pistachio.
All right, let's get back on track here. So speaking of that extra week of the regular season, what was your thoughts on that? Were you a fan, not a fan?
I wasn't a fan of it, but I wasn't about to argue it because I knew how important the season was for me. I wasn't trying to, have a lockout and stuff and not play the season and be older going into my fourth year. Like I just wanted to get this season over with and, whatever the consequences were of it, I knew I would just, have to endure it. And then just, I had a goal to reach. So I was not a fan of the 17 game, though. I don't think a lot of people were a fan of 17 regular season games, but obviously the owners or whoever wanted to move in that direction, and that's the direction we moved in.
They tried to frame it as, you're losing a preseason game, but none of y'all, starters didn't play in that game, so it's not like it really mattered to y'all anyway.
It did not. Nah, preseason. I like playing a couple of series in the preseason anyway in the games, just get you ready.
Right.
The regular season full speed stuff against another team. Yeah, you're still not going to equal a whole nother regular season game.
All right, yeah, it's crazy.
I feel you. Like as fans, though, it kind of appeared as if like it did its job. As for fans, I should say, it did its job because it eliminated some of those pretender teams that were trying to back their way into the playoffs, and it got rid of that, and it gave us what a lot of people considered probably the best postseason run or series of postseason games we've seen in a long time. Competition was through the roof.
Yeah. Really, the playoff race started earlier or late in the regular season.
Yeah, probably like week 14, 15. It was like go for those teams.
Yeah. Yep.
I know we were talking about before we started recording here about you going to the Super Bowl, but did you watch any of the playoff games this year?
I watched. I think all of them. Probably it was a good playoffs. All of them came down like the last series, except like two of them. Last second field goals all over the place. It was definitely a great playoffs for viewers to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite one?
Those Chiefs games, the one they won and the one they lost. Both of them. I feel like could have went the opposite ways. The first one that they won, I'm like, oh, they should have lost that. The one that they lost, I'm like, they just did this, they would have won. But those were kind of fun to watch there. I thought, both overtime games too. It was definitely, a good little stretch of football there.
If only we could have got one more overtime game in the Super Bowl, that would have been something else.
Cool. I would have been too nervous though.
So
that was a good game.
Wait, are the Rams your team?
I don't know.
Okay. I was about to say, because I know St. Louis.
No, I'm from St. Louis. Yeah, so they took our team, and they don't really support our team the way I think they should out there. But I was happy I know a couple guys on the team. Coach Raj, the defensive coordinator, so I was happy for them. Obviously, Rico's on the Ricardo Allen's on the Bengals, so I know some guys on the Bengals too. But Coach Raj, I was hoping he won, and those guys on the Ram in their city and stuff. So
for sure,
it was cool for them.
So going back to Chiefs-Bills game. Do you think that they should change the overtime rules because of how that game ended?
I mean, Kansas City lost the same way that they won. If you stop them, you're about to win. If you don't stop them, you lose. Like if you stop the team, all you got to kick is a field goal now. And it's pretty, like when you go in a 2-minute offense, it's easy to move the ball down the field however you need to move it in order to get in the field goal range. So, I mean, you could say it's unfair, but at the end of the day, if your defense was nice like that and they stopped them now, you know, you lose. So it's usually in pretty good field position. But
I love that answer.
Yeah. I mean, number one defense all season, and you give up 2 touchdowns. One, like you give up a field goal in like 14 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, they were the number 1 defense all season?
Uh-huh.
They didn't look like it.
No, they got diced up. They got diced up.
Yeah.
You know,
that's how it went.
Little ad-libbing here. I've always seen this, and, you know, people see it all the time, and you've seen it now with the way basketball's changed. But, like, in 2-minute offenses, you see offenses typically come out there, and unless they're facing, like, these stellar defenses, I mean, but even Micah alluded to the fact they were number 1. Why don't offenses do that? Because you feel like a 2-minute offense puts stress on the defense. Why not just go out there and do that?
It's kind of like why a lot of college offense are kind of like that. But let's say your 2-minute offense doesn't work, then you're just giving the ball right back to. Let's say you're playing Tom Brady that week, or you're playing explosive offense that week. You're giving the ball right back to them in less than a matter of seconds.
You're putting stress on your defense, yeah.
Now all of a sudden, your defense is on the field the whole time. You know, time of possession is everything in NFL. If you carry the time, like running the ball in key games and stuff, or, you know, especially in the playoffs, you can run the ball and hold the clock. You win more games. So it's really a risk. You know, it might work 1 drive, 2 drives, but then the rest, you keep giving the ball back to the other team the whole rest of the game. Now the other team has more possessions than you in terms of time possession. So
when it does work, it's a great thing. But if it doesn't work, you're killing your defense, and you got you sitting over there staring at him like,
hey, he said a lot of things a lot of fans don't understand. You said time of possession is everything in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And so, like, you know, I know a lot of our fans, we put a lot of the blame on the defense in those like late game losses. And it's like, but it's a balance. There's
definitely a balance.
Yeah.
I mean, defense, we could stop them faster, get the ball back to offense, but the offense doesn't hold the ball at all. It's like we're right back out there with the less field position. So you gotta be able to do both for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Judging by the way some of these coaches in the NFL be coaching, I think you might have a future as a NFL coach.
Man.
Maybe down the road.
Oh man, like, I mean, Micah, you kind of nailed it. A lot of these fans that get on these forums and a lot of these pages and just start running their mouth, talking about like, oh, they should do this, should do this. And it's like, man, do you quite really understand how this works? Like, there's 2 sides of the ball. Do you ever get in there and actually read comments and see these type of fan interactions, or do you just ignore that altogether?
No, I mean, it's kind of hard to miss when especially like some dudes will come and comment like under stuff that you're tagged in. So it's like, you know, I'm a human being. I'll look at the comments and stuff. Maybe my dad comments, or, you know, and then all of a sudden you just see everybody else's comments. So I don't know if it varies from team to team. Obviously, the Falcons have a lot of disdain over that Super Bowl loss 6 years ago that I wasn't a part of. They love bringing it up and blaming a lot of things on that. So I wouldn't say there's a lot of hate, but there's a lot of like, oh, we should be doing this and this and this and this. And maybe that's part of every fan base, but it's kind of hard to miss with us. And there are some people like obviously 110 full support all the time, which is very nice. But I like to read both. It's a happy medium. Like one kind of motivates me, one kind of like supports me in order to just keep doing better, keep doing what I need to do. Right. But I'd say I wouldn't say I read all of them. Obviously, I try to stay off of social media for the most part. But for the things that, you know, kind of hit you in the face, you got to read them.
Yeah, I mean, fans can get mad disrespectful on social media. They get real brazen behind that keyboard and those Twitter thumbs. They get real bold. I've seen some of those comments. I'm like, man, do you realize who you're talking to? These are very, very strong and fast humans. Like, I don't think you want that beef.
Nah. That the craziest, just like comedian Bill Burr said, if you saw him in person, hey, can you sign my stamp collection?
Oh, that's exactly how it is. Yeah.
Meanwhile, on Twitter, oh, this dude is so trash. See him in person. Oh my God, can I get my football signed?
Yeah, man. It's very true.
But last time you were on, you kind of mentioned how meticulous you were in your training, and we see you a lot with like Coach CJ and Dr. Tom. Shout out to Dr. T.
Yeah.
But making 192 tackles in a season, it's got to take a toll on your body. Like, how are you feeling right now? How are you? You still feeling kind of sore? Or you got to that point where you're starting to feel normal again?
I was feeling better. I think you kind of got to work out and have those kinks kind of ironed out as you work out. But yeah, I was pretty sore after the season for sure. Shoulder was a little hurt, and my knees were hurting, and my arms were hurting. Yeah, I had bruises everywhere basically. But nothing too serious. Yeah, nothing too serious. But I was kind of beat up.
You were getting into car wrecks on sometimes 17 car wrecks in a game weekly.
Yeah.
That doesn't even talk about the practice reps. But big thing here, 192 tackles in a season. That's no small feat. And for those of people that are not really aware of how that works, that's 7th most all time in the NFL. You are now top 10 all time for tackles in a single season. I don't know if you're aware of that, if you're one that tracks your stats, but let's just take a moment. Impressive season, sir. Impressive.
Just
season.
as a quick aside, were you in the process of going through the season, were you aware at your cumulative tackle numbers and the fact that you were coming in on winning a tackle title? I don't even know if they considered if that's like a thing that they.
So here, like, it was more my dad would tell me for the most part, but I knew I was top. The beginning of the season, I was top 10. Then all of a sudden, I was top 5. And then I think Yale posted the thing when I was, I went to, but I think Seattle had a bye week or something. So I went to 1, but then Bobby Wagner played again. He was number 1 for a long time. So I knew it was like top 5. And then all of a sudden, Bobby Wagner got hurt. So I was like, oh, what if I just make a whole bunch of tackles, the last 3 weeks, and I'll probably take it. And then I ended up doing that. So I didn't really know the number of tackles I had, really, but I just knew that if I just keep making a lot of tackles, I would win it. So like you just said 100, I didn't even remember 192, but I remember I won the race.
Yeah, I mean, it was impressive. Like I was keeping track of it, and what really caught my eyes, I think Devondre actually tagged you in something where y'all were going back and forth there for a while because he was up there too.
He was up there for sure. Yeah,
I think he finished.
I think he missed the game.
He missed. I think he wound up with like 146 or something like that. So I mean, that linebacker room the Falcons had there was an impressive linebacker room.
Yeah, I was thinking about posting. So we got a picture of us all in my second year, all of us, me, Bo, Duke, obviously, Dre. I don't think Ish was in the picture. I think he was a safety at that time, and a guy named Bruce Carter. Right. It was a fun linebacker room.
Yeah, I mean, athletic because Bruce Carter was athletic as hell too, out of North Carolina.
Right. Yeah,
y'all were all fast and some big hitters.
Yeah.
So, now despite the lack of overall team success, we did have a few standouts. Like obviously you, AJ, Cordero, and Pitts. So what was it like having to cover Cordero and Pitts in practice and stuff? Was it just like, are they just how good are they? I just want to know, how good are they really?
They're good. They're definitely good. Coach does a good job of getting them like isolated for one-on-ones against people who they want their matchup with. A lot of times you have, what they do is they put Mike Davis and Cordero in the game at the same time. You put Mike out at receiver, actually, then Cordero in the backfield. So somebody has to cover, probably linebackers to stay in the box for the run. And then what you do is motion Cordero out to either slide or number 1 from that same formation. Now a linebacker has to either go or you bump. And then you kind of see if you have a man-to-man or zone. And if you have man-to-man, one-on-one with CP out there on the edge, I guess that's when they usually do that fade ball. And then you have like inside where you have, you got Hayden, you got Lee Smith, you got CP out there still, and then you got Kyle. Now you can see who's on Kyle. It's going to be a corner, it's going to be a safety, it's going to be a linebacker, and then pick your matchup that way. And obviously throughout the season, Kyle kept getting better and better with releases and winning the top of routes and really being patient to, work the whole route to get open. Yeah, I think the sky's the limit for him. He's a very good player. He's going to be a very good player going forward. He wants to keep getting better.
That's a big man that should not be able to move that fast.
Yeah, he runs very fast. Yeah, I like how he catches in contact too. Didn't seem like he dropped a lot of balls as he got hit either.
A lot of one-handed catches too, while getting hit.
Right.
Kind of similar topic there, and you and I had a conversation. I think it was preseason, right before y'all headed, or actually, it was right before y'all headed into camp, and I was asking you about Coach Smith and Coach Pease and how you felt about it, and you kind of kept everything close to the vest because you knew like, hey, look, new regime, I'm in a contract year, I'm just trying to learn. Now, after that, full season you've had with them, what was your impressions of, let's start with Coach Smith. What were your thoughts on him? Obviously you were with DQ for all that time, and now you've had a full year under your belt with Smith. What was it like? What are the big differences? What you like? What you didn't like?
Yeah, for the most part, Coach Smith, he's a straight hitter. I really respect that out of him. I think he always going to have a chip on his shoulder. He got stuff to prove that he wants to prove, and he wants his team to kind of take that attitude towards every game too. But I just like how accountable he tries to keep everybody. Like no matter how good or bad the game was, we're going to go there and watch corrections, and everybody's going to get coached up. Like not as if we lost, but what they got to do better for the next game, and that goes for everybody in the room. Nobody really gets off with anything. So I really like that about him, and I think that going forward, his idea of football, as I said earlier, the time possession is really important. Being able to ground and pound when he gets what he wants in the Falcons organization. I think he has a winning equation for football. As you've seen the Tennessee Titans for so long go up and do that, be able to earlier in their as they got better, to be able to steal wins in the playoffs, being able to hold the ball the whole game, make their little runs and stuff. Obviously, I think that eventually one of these years they're going to pull all the way through and either make it to the Super Bowl or whatever. But I think they got a good equation for winning late games in January and in the playoffs and all that, trying to get there. So I think Coach Smith has a great equation, and he does a good job of getting everybody, in that right mindset to play. So I got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah. Now, more specifically, someone you probably had more interaction with, that's Coach Pease. And a lot of us fans got to see his personality come out in the interviews. And if you paid attention to football, his track record. He's a great coordinator, and he knows the game inside and out. And he's brutally honest with the media. Is he the same type of way to you guys, or is it even more so? What's he like?
No, he's very, very honest. Not as I said earlier. I like guys who come in and tell me what it is. When we play well, he tells us. When we play bad, he tells us. No, not apologetic. He'll tell you like if we messed up and stuff. A couple of times he's gone off in the whole defense, and I really respect it. Like when he starts yelling at us and stuff, because he's seeing how it should be done. He's seeing the best of the best do it. So I respect where he comes from and what he's trying to tell us every time.
Yeah.
So real quick,
go ahead, Marco.
Real quick question. I know we sort of talked about, it was sort of a lack of overall team success, but I feel like a lot of fans in the city, considering, sort of some of the things that we were up against this season, the 7 wins that we got was almost like a step in a good direction. Even though you see 7 and 10, you're like, oh, that's a failure. But what is your perspective, sort of that, like how there was improvement, but maybe it wasn't what you expected? How do you sort of feel about the season?
I liked how we were able to win games late. I liked how we were able to win a lot of one possession games. I would like to have beat some teams. I think we should have beat by more than one possession. Then a couple games that we did lose, I felt like, we should have ended up winning. Especially that Washington game, like in the first one.
That one hurt.
I feel like we were winning that whole game. I don't remember how that went down. I'll have to watch it. Taking my iPad. But yeah, I think we did have a shot to make the playoffs if we did what we need to do earlier in the season. Sneak in the playoffs that way, but there were some good things to take from the season for sure. I just think the way that we won with this, it was good to say like, all right, and a half in the games, I feel like we have a legitimate chance. If we're close, we're gonna pull this one out, because that's the games that you need to learn how to win in order to really be a successful team.
Yeah, I mean, you like. I think I messaged you halfway through the season, like that defense, y'all progressively got better and better. So you can tell that it's a good scheme, and y'all were taking your lessons. Even though they were hard ones at times, like specifically from that Washington game and some of those games in that same lump there. But it was an impressive season to see. I'll be honest. The defensive side of the ball is what impressed me the most. The offense, they had their struggles all season for obvious reasons. But you guys really put it together down the stretch there, and we're the stronger unit. And y'all definitely made your impact on the game. And I feel like, one, we have a bunch of heady players like yourself, but like Coach Pease was a huge part of that. But last thing on him, what was that moment where he opened up that playbook and you were like, whoa, this is something different. This is something real. Like, this is crazy what he's doing. Or was there ever that moment?
I was just more in a scramble to learn the playbook. At first, everything was base this, base that. And I was like, you don't really run base here. Like, you don't play base. But he had a big, base, not a big base playbook, which had a big emphasis on learning base. And as soon as I understood, because at first they were putting a different guy, because Copeland kind of already knew that defense. Yeah. So like they're kind of putting him out there so I could like watch from him, learn how to play it. At first, kind of pick up from him. And so I was like, it's base stuff. I don't really like base. And then when it got to the nickel and stuff, we just kind of learned how the nickel was just base with different kind of people in different spots. And then we got to the sub stuff, which was the pass rush stuff, which obviously can get a lot better. But just the way that he dialed it up and the way that the patterns moved, it was like, wow, if we could do it the way we should be able to do it, it's really hard to pick up, exactly where the nickel's coming from, exactly where the safety's coming from, all that. But in our minds, it's kind of simple. But if you look at it just on tape, it looks like, hectic and nobody knows where anybody's coming from. So when I understood like exactly what he was trying to do and exactly, how his mind worked, I was like, wow, that's a lot of stuff, but really it's quite simple when you understand it to the full extent. So I really love, his defensive mind there. And I think, keep him playing under the same scheme, you could really take off and flourish. So that'd be really exciting.
So this year you had Dean Pease did make a change. He moved you to the inside. So let me ask, like, do you prefer to be the inside backer or do you prefer to remain on the outside? Which one is your preference?
I don't know if I got a preference for real. I just like being on the field. I think the inside took on more like linemen straight up, more blockers and stuff, which was, different for me at first because I'm used to kind of seeing it, through one eye or, kind of being on the backside of plays and stuff. Like when them linemen straight double teaming right up to you and stuff, it was a little bit more hectic in there. But I got used to it pretty quickly, I'd say. Obviously, I could keep improving at it and being able to work downhill faster with play recognition and stuff. But last year I think I had a good year. This year I think I had a good year. So both years, whatever position I'm supposed to play, I can just keep getting better at. I don't think I'm, at the best part of my career yet. I think I can keep improving into where I can be in my prime a couple of years from now. So whatever I'm called upon, that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna be good at it.
So what led to the decision to switch you and Debo? Was it because you have a little more size, or is it just Pease wanted to utilize him on his coverage on the outside a little more? What was
I had a little bit of both. My size, just let Debo be the runner, don't free him up, free his mind up, be able to just play football. I think would be beneficial for him. Because Mike is a lot, like it's a lot of mental stress before the play and after the play and all that stuff. It's a lot to think about, lining everybody else up and getting the calls. But I had to keep working on, even as the season went on, like, because when I'm tired, I just want to sit there and play football. But I had got to communicate with everybody, defensive line, safety, corners are all dependent on me to make a call. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot to be thinking about, play in, play out, but you get used to it. And then, as I said, you keep up with the same responsibilities. You're able to keep moving faster and be smoother with it too.
Yeah. So, on another note, you had, I believe, 3 interceptions this season, and I'm just waiting for you to get the interception and not have some like 4'2", 40 guy on the field to run you down, because you moving. I see it's like, oh, he gonna get there, and then it's some Waddle. It was Waddle and
Tyreek, Waddle, all them.
Year. It's like these 4'3", 4'2" guys are always one on the field that can run you down.
Yeah, They're fast, man. Yeah, so I told Michael and I were talking about it. I said, if I ever get a pick again, like you just gotta find the fastest receiver and block him. He said, all right,
Take him out the equation.
Right, just turn around, forget everybody else. I can make them miss, just block the fast receiver. And then he said, if I get an interception, block the mobile quarterback. So literally, like that next week, he got a pick against the Panthers. And then Cam might have, we don't know. We will never speculate on if he had an angle, but I went and blocked Cam for him. He was able to spring off and get the touchdown. He ran real fast and stuff. He's very happy with himself. But
the crazy thing about that play is you were moving, man. You were going so fast, but then it was just like do.
Yeah. So we really talked about his pick six right before it happened. And then that was really crazy.
That's crazy.
So I was watching Channing Crowder, a former NFL linebacker, and he talked about how what's his name? He talked about how lineman for the Ravens, Jonathan Ogden, was by far the best player he'd ever gone against. Mm-hmm. So I have to add, I want to pose you that same question. Like who was the best like offensive player, lineman or skill player that you faced and had to face one-on-one?
I think Kamara gave us problems this year, but we play him every year. That second game really gave us problems. Always got to give him credit. Lineman wise, I mean, Deebo Samuel was good too. He really took over the game. I wouldn't say by himself, but he did a good job, especially with their scheme. Once they're able to hit them RPOs and like fake the run and dump it right behind, he's off running and stuff. And when he got the ball as a running back this year, he does do a good job running behind his pads, which we didn't know if he did at first. He's a very talented player. Lineman wise, I'm not one of those guys who like, I won't say I disrespect anybody, but it's like, linemen are linemen to me. Obviously, there's some that are better than others, but I'm not going to sit there and take the time to know, like, all right, that guy, unless you're like, I'm playing with them, they're in my conference, they're on my team, that guy's like, way better than that guy. They kind of all just come up and block you and stuff. Trying to think of the Bills. Niners did a good job on us, I think. That's because they do so much misdirection stuff that they're able to, while we're over there trying to figure out where the ball is, they climb up on us and cut us off and stuff. And they're pretty athletic and mobile. I don't think I have any one individual lineman that I say it's just probably is one out there. I probably got to watch the film. Oh, that guy was killing us. But if you start naming them, I'm like, all right, he's good, he's bad, he's good, he's bad. Not bad. I know
Trent Williams is a monster.
I mean, yeah, he's very good. You can't deny that one.
Well, not like the only reason I asked is because like Channing Crowder talked about when he went up against Jonathan Ogden, he said he tried like first of all, his coach couldn't tell him what move would work against him. Mm-hmm. Then when he said he tried to speed rush him, Jonathan Ogden's his step was so quick, he was like, nope, no, you can't. Yeah. Oh, young man, you're gonna spin back, and then he grabs him and says, young man, the weight room is a tool for you. He said, you got to get in the weight room, young man. I said, man. Yeah. So that just made me think about that.
Yeah, I had no interaction with that like that out there. I kind of just
They just can't keep up with them, man. The offensive line just can't keep up with them.
We just start yelling at each other. I'm a pretty nice dude until you piss me off, but we start, bickering back and forth. But most of the time, like, I don't feel like they know my name. I don't really know their name, so we're out there playing. But then they end up knowing my name. It's like, oh, what's up?
Yeah.
They're gonna know your name next year, man.
You get 20 tackles in the game, but somebody gonna hey man, put a body on 54.
Right. So there hasn't really been any like in your years in the league so far, there hasn't been any real heated trash talking where you were like, oh man, I'm about to show this guy.
Nah, I won't let it get that heated. No. Okay. Then when it gets that, it's like you're not playing football. For me, it's like you're not playing football no more. It's like I have way more stuff to worry about than that one guy in front of me. Especially when really like in a game, I probably only go against them. A lineman like 12 times. There's 5 of them. Whole bunch of different run plays they run, a whole bunch of different pass plays they run. I'm not going against one guy every play. If I was like a defensive end or something, I could see that being more the fact. But since I'm a linebacker, I like to get everyone on the field. It's not one individual guy I'm trying to pick on.
Do you even do it with Zeke?
I try to talk to because I don't want to wake him up. Like I want him to stay cool. I know what he's capable of, and I'll talk some stuff to him, but it's nice and respectful, and yeah, because I like to get talked to a little bit, but just not to where it's consuming me. Like, oh, I need to show this guy up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we brought it up before. You had your great season last year, 3 interceptions, 190 tackles, a forced fumble. I mean, that's a hell of a way to end your rookie contract. Now, you had mentioned, I think it was right around season's end when a reporter had asked you about, where you're going to go, what your future was looking like. And I think you had mentioned something along the lines that money won't be the biggest determining factor of where you go. So, obviously we all want you to come back here. We appreciate you here. We think you're a good scheme fit. Obviously you have your roots here, but what are some of the things that you're looking for in a team in the future? And describe that process, what you're going to go through when you're looking for that new home or, reasons to stay here.
One is the scheme fit. Obviously, the money has to fit. Like, money's just more like, all right, we respect you enough for this. So I just have to feel respected with the money part. Like, all right, we expect you to be this kind of player for us. You put in this amount of work. We like what you do. We're going to respect you enough with this amount of money. So whatever I feel respected as, what I feel respected at. Obviously, that's kind of comparing what other people have gotten and saying, all right, I feel like I'm on par with him. I should be getting this and this, or around that much. Obviously, I'm not saying I need to be the highest paid linebacker out there or nothing. Like, I'm going to be smart about it. I'm not stupid and stuff. Like, my agent, he's over there figuring a lot of stuff out. I'm saying thank you, agent, for thinking that of me. But I'm a pretty simple dude. But the most important part outside of that stuff is the scheme fit. Just me thinking that I will be able to be successful, going forward. I don't want to just go somewhere where this is where the money thing came in. I don't want to go somewhere where they're going to pay me how much money I go. And I feel like I'm not getting used to the best of my abilities. I'm kind of just out there. That really kind of fucks with your money in the long run. Like, all right, he was this kind of player. Now he's not having the same production. He's not, making the same plays on the ball. Maybe that's when you start hearing people, oh, maybe he's digressing, degrading as a player, whatever, he's getting old, this and that. Like, sometimes the scheme just didn't fit. Sometimes the coach is not using you how you felt like you should have been used, not blaming coaches, but they have their plans for the defense and you thought you were this part of the defense. They thought somebody else would be better at that part of the defense. So now all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're getting paid too much. Let's just, deal away with this contract. So it's like, what was the point of getting paid that much if I'm not going to be used for that much, for that amount? And also, selfishly, I want to be able to feel like I had an effective, however long my career is, amount of years. So if I'm playing 10 years, I want it to be a useful 10 years, not like me bouncing around team to team trying to find a job at the last second. 10 years, I want to be a effective player for however long I'm playing. Because obviously I don't want nobody to come and say, oh, he's washed up, he's not good, he's not, I hate that shit. Like, I want everybody that I play against to say, all right, he's legit, he's a good player. Like, I have a lot of respect for him. So I just want to be able to fit and be able to make plays and stuff. And then, the money fits, it fits. Then lastly, I want to be able to win games. Obviously, sometimes the teams that you first go to in free agency, you might not see them winning right away, but the Bengals were trash. I don't know, no offense to them, they were trash a couple years ago, and now they just went to the Super Bowl. They're a really good team, and that happened within I don't know how many years, but they obviously have been laying down the bricks, and then it all popped off. The puzzle pieces all fit together when they needed to fit, and now they're a Super Bowl contender. I think the 49ers were like that a couple years before they went to the first Super Bowl, where they just kept on drafting D linemen and stuff. And then all of a sudden, boom, 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 they're right there in the Super Bowl, right there, playoff team every year. They got what they needed. So sometimes you don't see the immediate success looking, but if you feel like you're about to be a part of something special and everything fits like that, and you feel like you're going to be a good contributor, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
So you wouldn't be worried at all about having to be like in Green Bay or Buffalo and or What's another cold ass place playing
I
outside?
played, what's funny? I actually went to Yale because it was like there were colder games. I don't really like
Okay.
playing hot. Like if I was in Miami and it's fucking 100 degrees throughout the whole first month, that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I don't want it to be cold and snowing the whole last month. I could play in a couple cold games a year, but yeah, if I went up there and play in the cold, like the game, like as long as it's not like I would prefer snow over like rain, because rain gets you wet and now your feet are wet and fingers are wet and frozen and stuff. But if it's just
So
cold,
scratch Seattle.
Scratch Miami, scratch Jacksonville.
So anywhere at the top and bottom of the nation. Sorry, y'all are out.
yeah, I could do a little. I could do some cold games though.
But not like you said something that I definitely understand, because like the scheme fit is very important for a career, because I've seen so many, especially cornerbacks and DBs, who take these huge contracts but go to a team that doesn't fit their skill set, and then next thing you know, it's like, well, why did we pay for this guy? This guy isn't good. Like for one off the top of my head, Nnamdi Asomugha a while back, he was a man press corner. He goes to Philly where they played mostly zone, cover 2 and cover 3, and then it was just like, this guy is in a good corner. What do we do? Why do we spend so much money for him? That's not his style of play. That's not what his fit is. So
exactly.
So actually, you know what? I wanted to ask you this earlier, Mike. That's a good segue. If you had to describe yourself like, like corners, obviously they're man press zone corners, and like defensive ends, they're like, I'm a speed rusher. I'm, speed to that. What would you describe yourself as if someone asked you, like, what type of linebacker are you?
I'm more the I'm not like I'm a hybrid of a lot of sorts. I could do a lot of things as I showed more last year than this year. This year I more showed that I could be a run plugger if needed to be. Right, I could keep getting better at that. I mean, with our scheme, I feel like a lot of, my PFF grade I heard was atrocious, but a lot of the, they don't really understand what our coverage scheme was, whatever. So like where they attacking the zone, in a cover 2 zone, if we did run cover 2, is, where the linebacker basically vacates right there in the middle of the field, or, kind of in between the alley and the hashes. But we kind of have to play both. Like wherever the quarterback's looking, we have to relay back, or if the quarterback keeps looking out, we got to go out. But sometimes, those are dead zones that, the guy's going to catch the ball if they know it's cover 2. Well, we ran cover 2 damn near every play, so they know where the fuck to throw the ball. But in terms of like man covering and stuff, I feel like I showed a good amount of that last year. And then in terms of being like in the middle of the box, I showed a good amount of that this year. But really, I'm a sideline like athletic linebacker. I like getting over the top of blocks and being able to erase mistakes either made by the defensive line or maybe the first tackle missed, whatever. But I'm just kind of a rangy linebacker, and I can make up for a lot of different things. I can make plays on the ball when they come. So, yeah, kind of a hybrid of all sorts of athlete out there.
Rangy hybrid. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, you've definitely shown your versatility. I mean, last year you showed in Raheem's scheme that you can definitely blitz well. This one you showed out this year. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a good assessment of yourself for sure. I still think Madden is disrespecting you a little bit with your rating.
So,
Madden,
what is it now?
Last I checked, you made it into the 80s. I think you made it to mid to low 80s, I think.
I mean, yeah, Madden's tough. That's a tough way to, you got to really be famous out there to get rated high. But
yeah, hold on, Micah, real quick. Let me touch on this, because you mentioned something that one of our good friends, and that's someone who's really a contributor in the Discord, loves to talk about, and he mentioned your PFF grade because he's a Ravens fan. And so he was like, well, y'all keep talking about how good he is. Why is his PFF grade so low? So you hear a wide array of responses from professional athletes and former athletes on how they view PFF. What's your view, and what's kind of the view in the league?
I don't fuck with PFF. Even when it's good, I don't fuck with, like, if I have a great PFF rating next year, the first thing I'm gonna say is thank you, but I really don't like this rating because you guys don't really understand exactly what the play call is, exactly what teams, schemes is on a blitz, what their responsibilities are in coverage. You don't know. Like, they just think that, like, they'll have their vanilla this is what you're supposed to do in cover 2, but every team plays it differently. Like in our cover 2, even as a middle linebacker, I'm not allowed to go shoot a gap because I'm the overlap player. So I'll have a nickel supposed to come inside when he recognizes run, shoot a gap. Our will linebacker is supposed to shoot a gap, and I play overlap. That's why sometimes I back up, because if it is play action, I have the deep middle. So if I come up shoot a gap and they pull it back, now they run over routes, I'm supposed to be responsible for the first over route. So I'm not allowed to go up, shoot a gap and stuff. So a lot of times, the ball's supposed to bounce on a run because all the gaps are technically, covered. Sometimes the nickel doesn't make the trip. So I have to account for the nickel not making the trip, stay in, but I can't just, because I, being patient, he's already 3 yards up the field. So I make a tackle, 3 to 5 yards up, we'll play another down, get out of cover 2. They don't know that shit. They don't really understand football. They just know X's and O's of what it looks like on a Madden screen. So when it is, like, if it's a one-on-one play, let's say for defensive line or something, I don't know. I don't even know if they know what an exit is. Like, I don't know if they know the defensive lineman games and all this stuff, but it's contained rush. I don't know what they know, but I do know that they somehow have gotten something to for fantasy football in order to score and rank people. But at the end of the day, like, a lot of people get paid who PFF grades have been low because they do what the coaches say. And at the end of the day, I'm going to do what the coaches say because that's how I fucking play the game. That's how I got 192 tackles. And they're over there telling me my PFF grade is low. I'm like, shit, I guess so, but 192 tackles.
We need to clip that and send that to PFF.
I like that right now.
Clip name, Foye gives middle finger to PFF.
You tell them.
Nah, but as great of a season as you had, like tackling, it's just it blows me away because to think we drafted you were kind of a safety linebacker hybrid, and now you are a full-on linebacker who can stuff the run, who can play in coverage. I mean, like I said, you put on muscle and size, and you still manage to keep your athleticism. I mean, that's just, it blows me away how far you've come since we drafted you initially into this league.
Appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, I just wanted to be the best player I could be, really. So, first they told me I needed to gain the weight, so I gained the weight. But then, I wasn't gonna let the athleticism go away. And then really, ever since then, it's just keep on finding whatever I can do to keep improving. And it's never gonna stop. Going into next year, whatever it is, I feel like I need to do. I'm gonna keep working at it until I feel like I'm one of the best in the league.
Oh yeah.
Marco, I feel like that's a good segue to your next question there.
What, 10?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was wondering, it's always as fans, we only have so much insight into what goes on in a player's mind in terms of looking back at a season. So I want to sort of know, like, how do you, obviously we look at it and we say, okay, you had an amazing season, but how do you personally, look back and evaluate your season and decide on which aspects of your game can improve? And then how do you really go about executing on it? Like, what do you do different from season to season to maybe improve different aspects?
So first, I go and kind of just watch the games, just like to watch them, just watching myself, how I'm moving and stuff. Like, if I feel like, like I repeatedly kept on, missing tackles with this leverage or missing tackles coming out of, this angle and stuff. That's first, I'm gonna write that down. Say I need to work on, coming to balance after sprinting, backwards and having a chop and come forward or something. So like, I'll just make up a drill, probably go work down the sander first, then go to my trainer, say I need a drill working on basically this end movement. Then I'll probably go, watch, run fix, getting off blocks or stuff. And there's just specific things like, I struggle getting off a block, off stretch plays. I struggle, not getting over the top on this kind of toss play or something. I just like in my mind replicate, there goes a toss, boom. I have to get over the top of the block, shimmy through this one, then get vertical. I think that's one thing I remember, getting vertical at the end of a toss play, because our old staff, we would kind of, alignment would do whatever they do. Me and D would just run over the top and find the ball. Now it's like we got to get over the top and immediately get vertical to make it keep bouncing outside. It's not bouncing outside to us anymore. We're going to try to bounce it out to like an overlapping lineman or the corners or something that's finally coming up after they recognize run. Then like in cover stuff, maybe like, all right, let's say when I finally do get to my drop, maybe get my eyes back quicker, seeing which, then when the quarterback does look at either the alley shot or the middle shot, being able to break on it faster because I remember cover two drops a lot of times. Those are the two check downs that he's going to, that he's completing. So just making sure I'm being able to rally up and tackle those balls check down like that after getting enough depth in my drop. And then when I'm in the middle player in cover two, maybe being able to either break, maybe making sure I'm not letting anything get behind me, then being able to break, downhill and maybe tackle something that didn't get tackled. But to keep on watching your film and seeing like, all right, these plays I could repeatedly maybe didn't do as well as I wanted to on, making up a drill for them, and that way when you have that thing happen again the next year, you just kind of like muscle memory, like it just happens way faster, and you're kind of just more comfortable and smooth with it.
So it's very exciting hearing you talk about just how critical and hyper analytical you are of your game. And I wonder, from sport to sport, sometimes you see, like in the NBA or in the NFL, you see certain players don't necessarily get better at something that you looked and said, okay, they didn't do that well. Are these habits something that you just sort of picked up on your own, or was it maybe watching other veterans and seeing how they looked, what they did at the postseason, or how did you come to such a concise way of improving?
Really, it's just kind of how I was always raised. Never just be complacent. My parents always on me to do something better, either in the classroom or in sports. But then I didn't really have direct coaches, like basketball. I just had a hoop outside, so I didn't have no trainers how they all do now. Just you go out there and work on what you feel like you need to work on. And I was a pretty decent high school basketball player. Football, college, same way. Came home for this. We had long breaks in Ivy League. We get all the breaks to the full extent. 2 weeks, spring break, winter break, summer break, all that shit. So you either come home and get better, or you can come home and sit around and not do anything. So I would just make up my own stuff, kind of lift, do all that stuff where I feel like I could do on my own. And then kind of just make up drills for myself where like I didn't do this as well as I wanted to. Let me do this better. Then in the NFL, when you get more resources and stuff, there's really no reason why you can't improve from year to year to year while you're playing. And so your body just then can't do it anymore. But then you can find other ways to get better, whether you get smarter or whatever. So there's always ways to improve your game if you really want to.
Definitely.
Foye, I have to shit talk you here a little bit because I remember we came on last time. You're like, I played basketball in high school. You're talking about it now, and then that clip came up. I
was just in LA, right? And a couple of my high school friends was down there. I invited some of them out. I mean, there was this one girl, Ronnie, who she had a lot of classes with me, but she liked sports and stuff. She's at all the sports, but I literally had her around a lot of my guys on the team. And they're like, yo, like we were just all surprised Foye chose to play football in college. I was like, they're like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, he was better at basketball his whole high school career. I'm not saying I would have went to the NBA in basketball, but in high school, of the two sports, I think basketball was my best sport, is my point here. But I chose football because I had a brighter future in football, and you could eat more. It's just better. And they're gonna play right away because there's 22 people on the field. And
what kind of player were you in basketball? Were you a shooter or a slasher?
A slasher. I could shoot the ball a little bit, depending on who you ask. Obviously, like if I go to like all my travel teams and stuff, I'm not a shooter from the corner, except one year where I already committed for football. And so my AAU coach had a son on the team. Actually, I'm not going to get into all this because he's probably going to see it somehow.
No. Let's hear it, man. Let's hear it. You can't start that story and then stop.
I didn't really play my last year. I didn't really care. I was just kind of along for the camaraderie, the tournaments and stuff. Obviously, I was a good athlete and stuff. I provided help for the team, but I just really didn't care. I was already going to play football in college, and all those guys were out there looking for basketball scholarships. And I remember one tournament I did really well the first couple games, and a whole bunch of college coaches went into my DMs and Facebook and like said, I know you're committed for football, but are you interested in still playing basketball? I was like, yeah, I like basketball more. But then all of a sudden by the end of the tournament, they, didn't talk to me anymore. And then my playing time decreased and going to the next tournament. I was like, I wonder why that happened. Then I kind of did some thinking about it. And one of my friends on the team's dad, AAU's kind of, it's awful. It's toxic.
AAU is the worst thing that happened to basketball.
So It just turned out like, I think the coach, told the other coaches that I'm not interested in playing basketball no more. Obviously, you should look into my son, this and that. Like, look into these people. This guy's just not, playing it. Like he's not, involved with basketball anymore. So I wasn't mad at the guy. I understand you got to look out for yours and stuff. And I didn't really play. As I said, going into the end of the thing, I remember we went to Vegas and like other teams would call me the shooter, which I'm not like a 3-point shooter, but I was hot that whole tournament. They would call me the shooter. I would go in there and knock down like 2 threes a game. And like me and my other friend were laughing at it because they were literally running at me, calling me the shooter. And then I would like not play that more. And I was one of the best athletes on the team, in terms like defensively and all that stuff. But again, I wasn't mad. I was in Vegas enjoying my time as a 17-year-old kid. But it was just weird to me how that kind of all unfolded. But I kind of made the right decision anyway because I was not going to go pro in basketball. Which I might have though, because I could have practiced a lot. I didn't practice that much after that, but never say never. But I made the right decision. I'm playing football now.
You ever catch a body in a game?
Of course. Yeah,
You got a most memorable one?
Probably my first alley-oop dunk against Clayton High School. We had a whole like lob play out of an inbound. Was you get the ball out, then it gets out to the top of the key. He dribbles kind of to the elbow, top of the key. Kind of patch a 3-point line. He fakes a shot, but it ends up being a lob and there's a backdoor pick. It's for a 2-3 zone, and then I kind of come off the side, and I caught it. I never did it before in my life. I just caught it. I was up there, I ended up putting my knee on the dude's shoulder, and then dunked it, landed on the guy. Everybody was like, "Oh, that was nasty." I was like, "Yeah." But that was my first one. Then all of a sudden, like, it became me and Zeke had the same play either side. Whichever the side went on, we just started dunking on people left and right. It was a good time.
It's good to hear that you got knowledge of both sports there. I like to hear that.
Yeah, I love basketball.
Marco?
Oh, so are you going past? Are we going straight to 11?
We can. Actually, you know what? Let's bring this up real quick because we got a couple of people in the Discord who's got some questions for you, and we'll pose them in here. But they broke up your Beanbag Boys this season, man. Halfway through, they shipped.
They did.
That sucks.
They did. It did.
But
suck.
he signed on quickly.
Yeah, he's actually with the Panthers now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he got signed to the Panthers like the last week from Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Y'all keeping the Beanbag Boys alive, or?
Yeah, we hung out already this offseason. He's about to pack up his apartment right now, actually. He's about to go back to LA for the rest of offseason and see where he is next year. But yes, it was sad. I was pretty, because Isaiah had already gotten hurt and Tui left. It was tough.
Yeah, you were the lone Beanbag Boy out there representing all season.
It was tough.
You did a good job though. But speaking of how good of a job you did, so back in 2020, I hate to like quote articles because you never know when you talk to the actual player if you ever really said what they're saying. You can't trust these media guys. But they were pretty much, you were left off the ballot, and you sort of indicated, you felt disrespected, which we all agree that it was very disrespectful. But then this year, despite being one of the best inside linebackers, and no offense to Bobby, but you had better stats than him, and your teams had the same record, you still weren't selected for a Pro Bowl. So while you stated that you don't really play for Pro Bowl recognition, has this put any fire under you, or did you even really think about it?
I wouldn't say it put additional fire under me. I think it kept the fire going. I didn't think I was gonna make, especially how our record was going. I didn't think I was gonna make the Pro Bowl. But then when you see who did make the Pro Bowl, it's like, I mean, did Dre make the Pro Bowl? Devondre?
I don't think he did. No, y'all both got snubbed this year.
Yeah, so some dudes who made a Pro Bowl, I was like, I don't know about that. I feel like I'm just a Pro Bowl caliber player. I just have to have the situations, like, especially for me, because I'm not not a household name where other people would just vote just because they know your name. But I there's no doubt in my mind that I think if I keep playing like this, that I'm of Pro Bowl caliber. Obviously, it's a popularity thing, and I guess I'm just not that popular, but I feel like if I keep playing well and I keep earning my respect, then that will happen. I got 2 All-Pro votes this year, so I was happy with that. But again, I think I could keep getting more and stuff. So if I keep playing this way, I got to keep playing better, and that's my motivation. I got to keep playing better in order to get what I want.
And then speaking of the active game, so it's sort of been under universal scrutiny for the past couple of years. For whatever reason, this year, a lot more than I've ever heard. How do you personally feel about the state of the event in its uncompetitive nature? And if it is a negative feeling, what about it would you change?
So I finally watched this first time I watched the Pro Bowl. I didn't realize they were doing 2-hand touch out there. I was like, wow,
that was awful.
Fun ass week to me. Yeah. When I did watch it back in the day, I remember it being tackled. Then I turned it back on this week, and it just, I don't know, it just seemed like a nice, fun 2-hand touch football game. I understand why it is. I mean, we were in that 17th game, and we're playing for more stuff other than a whole football game, because if somebody ends up out there getting hurt, I don't know what the stats are. Who's gotten hurt in the Pro Bowl, and then they hurt themselves for the off season. Let's say it was me under a contract year and I got hurt in the Pro Bowl. It just wouldn't make sense to be out there and do that.
Right.
But in terms of watching the Pro Bowl and like you finally get voted to this and the fans want to see the best play, it was definitely a boring event. But for some reason, people still watched it. It's definitely an honor to be voted to it, but it is a popularity event. And then when you watch the game, it's like I'm not really missing much, but just to be there in the whole week and being able to keep your popularity up, signing stuff and all that stuff is definitely an honor. But
and the whole history, just to be a part of the list for history's sake.
Definitely not it anymore. But at the same time, I would still love to be a part of that game.
Make sure you throw that escalator in your contract this year. Make a Pro Bowl. Add to run me my money.
And then just real quick, do you think they should, because I almost feel like when it was after the Super Bowl, players maybe were a little bit more inclined to not just loaf it. But do you feel like it's better the week before the Super Bowl or like after the Super Bowl in Hawaii and all that? What would you prefer?
I think before. I think the after. I don't want to
come back.
Training I want to come back.
Yeah, season's over. I wouldn't. Plus, you fill that gap, that void.
I do.
That means if I wasn't training and stuff for it, I could risk injury. It's all about injury prevention for me in this game.
Yeah,
but I still want to play.
I definitely understand the injury thing, but I am somewhat old fashioned, so I miss the days of Sean Taylor hitting Brian Moore highlight punt. I mean that was just like, bruh. I've never seen a punter get hit that hard. Brian Mormon probably still has nightmares about that hit.
Yeah, for sure.
That man popped up off of pride only because he was like, I can't, because he was hurting after that. Sean Taylor didn't hit.
He got broken half on that play.
Boy, he got broken in half.
Yeah.
That might have. I know you're a little bit younger than us, but you probably watched that Pro Bowl, right?
Of course, yeah. Yeah, that's an iconic play. I mean, they showed that's the first play of Sean Taylor's highlights and stuff.
Yeah. And that one and him killing T.O. reportedly, not reportedly, but repeatedly over the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So let's take a little bit more fun here. Get off the football thing, off your contract talks. First, let's say good luck to you in the future. We'd love to have you back here, and we know it's going to be a long process. This is a lot of politics, but let's take it to the NBA All-Star Game. Since we know you're a fan of basketball, let's get your predictions for the three-point contest, the dunk contest, and then the game. Who's going to win? Who's your favorites? Who are we looking for?
I'm not up to date on all the who's in the three-point contest. I remember the dunk contest was like.
The dunk is a little bit harder this year because they don't have really a big name. Let's see. Let me get you the exact ones. Three-point contest. I know Trey's in there.
It's Trey. I think it's Zach LaVine. I think CJ McCollum. I think it's
Here we go.
CJ McCollum going off.
You got LaVine, Karl Anthony Towns, Van Vliet, and Trae Young.
Wait,
that's the headliners. Yeah, there's 8.
There's like 30 guys in the
Here we go. CJ McCollum, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, Desmond Bane from the Grizzlies.
He was shooting it well, yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns, Van Vliet, Luke Kennard, and Patty Mills, who's been killing it this year.
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns, really?
Hey, they got to throw one of those oddballs in there.
He's 40% for his career.
Yeah, he's been saying he's the best 3-point big man ever. He's been saying that for a long time.
He really is.
Mess around and mess up his shot in the real games.
Yeah.
That's always been the thing about the 3-point contest. But let's hear it. What you got, Foye?
I mean, Trae Young, he got that quick release. I could see him winning that, but he's streaky. Like sometimes it'll be hot, and then sometimes it'll be cold. Does he have any games with he's just in that in the All-Star game?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a starter this year.
I think they changed the skill challenge somehow, but he's not in that.
Yeah. So
I like Levine, to be honest with you. Zach Levine, he got a pretty stroke.
I mean,
I feel like Trae Young a big off. Does he shoot off the catch? Really, I feel like he shoots off the dribble most of the time.
Yeah,
he's off the dribble. Yeah, and he's got a strange release for this too.
And in the last one he was in, I think he was trying to be cool, so he probably did worse than anybody else.
Yeah.
So he has a little motivation, but yeah, his shot isn't really conducive for a 3-point shooting contest.
I think I like Levine here.
And then, so the dunk contest is going to be Jalen Green, Obi Toppin, Juan Toscano Anderson, and Cole Anthony.
Yeah, that's what it was. Cole Anthony. I heard Cole Anthony was good. I can't see him winning, but I heard somehow he was good at dunk contests. He's like 6'3" point guard, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see how he got. Has he been dunking a lot this year?
Not really, honestly.
I think
he's that dark horse.
All-American game one. But I like Jalen Green. That boy bouncy. I don't know if he got tricks up his sleeve, but he's bouncy like that.
He jumped crazy.
Obi Toppin's big, so it's hard for them to look cool. I like Blake Griffin, I guess, did, but he's been thinking about dunk contests since he was born. Obi Toppin, maybe he jumps high and stuff, but I usually like guard dunks better than big man dunks.
Yeah, you get more of that body movement.
Yeah, I like Jalen Green.
All right, so you got Levine and Jalen Green, and then you got Team LeBron versus Team KD. Do you know the rosters, or we can pull them up?
I saw the roster. I forgot who was on each person's roster. I just remember they was fighting over. Not fighting over. James Harden got picked last.
LeBron got Giannis, Steph. It's pretty much unfair.
Here we go.
Yeah, so LeBron's team won right there. You got Giannis gonna try hard. Steph is cool already. LeBron.
I mean,
we got who does KD have?
I'll run through the team real quick. So you got LeBron's got his starters are Giannis, Steph, DeMar, LeBron, and Jokic, and then reserves are Jared Allen, Jimmy Butler, Luka, Darius Garland, Harden, who won't play, Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, and Van Vliet. Then Durant, KD, who obviously won't play, Embiid, Ja, Tatum, Wiggins, Trae Young. Then LaMelo is actually KD's replacement.
All right, LaMelo.
Jason Tatum's really KD's replacement.
They got a good all-star team. I don't know if they got they won't play as hard. They got a good all-star team. They can make some highlight plays.
Their bench is pretty deep too. You got Booker, Gobert, Levine, Middleton, DeJounte Murray, Karl Anthony Towns, and Draymond. But he won't play either.
Yeah, I got Team LeBron winning, but I feel like if the other team tries harder, they're gonna win.
Yeah.
Right. You got John on your team. They might try,
John might, turn on that pressure.
I will say it's crazy though that going to the Lakers was the one thing that kept Russell Westbrook from going to a damn All-Star game. He goes to the Lakers and then everybody hates him now. It's like, bruh.
Right.
Poor Russ.
He isn't having a sort of a tragic looking season, just watching all those air balls and all those turnovers.
Every time you get on LeBron's team, anything you do gets amplified. So
yeah.
That's tough. That is tough for sure.
The pressure compounds. So true.
Mm-hmm.
All right, real quick before we move to these Discord questions. Last time we talked to you, we had mentioned your enormous sectional that you had. So what's going to be the first big purchase for you? Do you have anything lined up once you get your contract? Or is it just kind of like, I'll get it when I get it, and football is the...
Yeah, I haven't thought of anything that I would get like that. I get an ugly game chain somewhere.
Hey, I forgot my Ugly Gang shirt upstairs. Damn.
Somewhere along the lines, I'll get an Ugly Gang chain. That's really it. That I thought like some purchase like that I get. House eventually, but that's not right away.
You're not whipping the exotic yet?
I don't think I ever whip it.
Are you still in the, what is it, the Corolla? Were you in a Camry?
I
Corolla?
got a Camry. I might get a I'm trying to get a deal with the dealership. I'm gonna get a like an SUV, Toyota SUV.
Okay. What's that? The Sequoia? What's that?
Or a
I'll get
Highlander.
the not the biggest one. I'll probably get the RAV4 because they got this.
Okay.
They got this sport one now. You know, sometimes they look kind of mommy, like mom car-y, but now they got a sports edition one. That was all right.
So you gonna get the Sofia Vergara bed?
You got one?
I think she might.
She said she got one.
You saw that?
It sounds enticing.
Look into it.
All right. Yeah. Let's get some of these questions here, and I feel like I marked a couple of them for good ones. This one you answered last time on the show. So some of these are team related, some of these are based for you. So the first one is, how would you describe the morale of the team going into the offseason?
It was interesting. I mean, it's just a lot of pieces that might be moved around, like, especially it was all my close friends. It's fourth year, so it was all our contract year. I don't know, Russ coming back, me, Isaiah, all them. So that was first and foremost, just like, damn, it might be somewhere else. But in terms of how the team did, it's just, all right, we have somewhere to build on now. I think we have a good equation, but, you know, obviously we have to play better, but it's definitely somewhere to build on. But we've seen that if we're in the games that we need to be in, we can definitely pull them off, which was, you know, different than the years at first when I got here.
All right. So as a linebacker, do you prefer good D-line or good defensive backs behind you?
They're both important. I think a D-line starts everything though. D-line will make the ball come out faster. Now the defensive backs don't have to be as good. The Rams D-line was stacked. Every end of game situation, they finished by themselves. Obviously, if you have good defensive backs, they can erase problems of a not great D-line though too. So, but a D-line can definitely get that ball out faster and stop the run easier and all that stuff. So,
right.
I think that's been the equation for football. You win it in the trenches.
The trenches, right? So
D-line I think is key.
You answered this one last time on the show. Here's a good one. What was Arthur's message? I'm assuming this is Arthur Smith. What was Arthur's message to the team when the season ended?
Kind of what I said earlier. We got the equation I think that we need. We just have to be able to execute it, which is kind of a cliche answer, but it's real. It's a real answer. I think when we're able to do what we want to do, then we'll be a very dangerous team for sure.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. I like the way you're talking about we as a team still. Not that I'm reading between the lines here or anything. Okay, so continue on that same thought. What do you see as the biggest challenge for the defense next season? Is it getting comfortable with the scheme, adding better players, or just executing better? And I think you just kind of answered that as well.
What did I say in my answer?
You know, learning the learning the scheme and really just executing the plays.
Yeah, really executing. Yeah. I mean, whoever they bring into the building, we're gonna have to bring them along. Hopefully, it's gonna benefit our teams in terms of talent and stuff. But regardless of who they bring in, if they're not running the stuff the right way, then it's gonna be tough. So yeah, really remaining comfortable with the scheme. Building off of how we kind of ended last year. We kept getting better, but really we have another step to take, and then taking off with it after we know exactly what we're supposed to be doing out there.
Man, we got some good questions in here. Let's see. I don't want to keep you too long. The NFL has a few two-way players and even more multi-position players. If you could play another position on offense and or defense, safety excluded, I'm not going to let you cheat, what would you play?
I can't play safety.
Well, I mean, if that's your answer. But you've already played safety, Foye. Let's just keep it offense, though. If you could play offense, what would you play?
H back, either like a fullback, tight end hybrid. I could play quarterback too if you really wanted me to, though. Like, I have a good arm for about 3 throws a game. But I don't know how they keep. Like, I throw the ball deep 3 times, my shoulders thrown out, and then that's their warm up. Like, their warm up is like 50 throws.
12 gauge.
Yeah, let's say put you in that 12 gauge package.
He'd be most new all over again.
Let's see what else we got with the division. You know, your eyes have got to get a little bigger since you've seen Peyton stepping away from the Saints and Brady retiring. You got to be looking ahead, like, look, I don't have to deal with them anymore. That's nice.
Yeah.
What's your opinions on that?
I don't believe Brady's retiring. I just don't.
Don't you bring that evil on us, Ricky Bobby.
That's what Gronk did to us too. He came right back. And then
you don't
Brady,
believe it till he's really gone, right?
He think he gonna pull Brett Favre.
Yeah, I could come back though. Okay, so you're coming back.
Right.
Training camp or something. I don't know. And like all their team hasn't really worried about anything. So I feel like they know something that we don't know. And that is that he's probably gonna come back. And then obviously other quarterbacks out there, they're looking for homes too. I mean, what did I just see? Was it
Teddy?
Deshaun Watson thought about it too, the Bucks and stuff.
Yeah, Deshaun said the Vikes or the Bucks.
The Saints looking for a quarterback, maybe. I don't know if they're gonna bring back
they don't got no money.
Jameis,
they don't.
They're $75 million over the cap. You think we're cap strapped? The Saints are.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got to figure that out. But I'll see what when training camp starts. Then I'll be able to see what's really shaking out there.
But I don't care as long as he doesn't pull a Brett Favre. Like, wait till training camp's almost over and be like, all right, yeah, I'm ready to come back now.
Brett Favre, Tony Gonzalez, they're like, training camp, what's that?
So
Right.
you mentioned Debo and stuff. One of the questions was, who, in your opinion, is the hardest player to tackle in the league so far?
Hardest player to tackle. Yeah, Debo is tough. Kamara is always tough. Christian McCaffrey hasn't played in a while, but he's tough. I mean, those are just guys in our division that but they're still game records through all of football. Dalvin Cook, oh my God. Dalvin Cook is nasty.
You got an oh my God from you, son.
Nasty. Somebody, DJ Moore is actually tough for the Panthers. There was some guy Hill, Tyreek Hill. Too fast. Yep. Damn near impossible.
I'm trying to get a hold of him.
Hey.
Right, he's there and then he just keeps running. And all of a sudden he doesn't run out of space and he finds a little sliver on the side.
Tackle in the air.
Yep.
Hey, folks argue with me on this, but your boy Isaiah did a number on Tyreek when we played the Chiefs that time.
Oh, yeah, we did well against the Chiefs. Yep.
And I mean, that was, to me, everybody was like, oh yeah, I'm like, nah. Tyreek Hill had like 4 catches that game, and like 30 of his yards came on one play. So,
Isaiah
Isaiah locked him down that game.
Yeah, that was a good game for us. And then we lost, but we were about to win. AJ had that one in the end zone. He had that pick that he he landed hard and fell out.
Look, I know y'all wanted to win that game, but every fan was like, good job, Young Wei. Thank you for missing that kick.
You know that tip got that field goal got tipped.
I did see that, yeah.
That was unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I was looking at ain't no way he just missed that. All the field goals he made.
Ain't no way. But so there was one. I know we talked earlier that you don't really get into it with taunting and stuff, but especially early in the season, we saw a lot of the competition committee obviously had changed and added some rules regarding taunting. Do you think they went a little overboard with that, or do you think it makes it better?
I don't know what their objective was, but I think they went overboard with it. You gotta let people celebrate and stuff. I mean, that's just part of the game. It's like if I dunk on somebody and can't even yell or stare them down, I guess sometimes you can't, but I just don't understand why some of the calls are calling us taunting.
It's because you got a bunch of people that have never played sports making rules for people who have played sports.
They understand sports and dominance and stuff. It's like I'm sure they bet on whatever they bet on. Like they're over here
Yeah.
playing a poker game and they win a hand, like not
They
being
get
able to
hype.
talk to
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you think they really understand? Like, because I mean, you as an athlete understand how physically hard it is to make a play against some of these elite athletes. Like, and you got to celebrate. Like, I don't think they truly understand how hard it is to be good at these games that y'all are playing.
I definitely agree with that, but I don't know why they'll make a whole rule talking about like especially when they see how egregious the flags were, like not being able to say, all right, that shouldn't have been a flag, that shouldn't have been a flag. They just let it keep going.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I guess they leave it up to the refs. So, they put the boundaries and then the refs have to make the decision. So I guess it's a two-part
They still go
thing.
back and review every flag and stuff, and they have a whole committee meeting or whatever saying that was a good call, that was a bad call, that was a good call. So if they kept on saying that was for those flags.
They're out of touch. Yeah.
I mean, it's the idea of trying to clean up the game has hurt the game so much, in my opinion. I mean, how hard it is to be a defender in today's NFL, especially somebody throws the ball over the middle.
Right.
You have like a 2.5 foot area that you can hit them and it still be legal. If anything below or above that, you can get flagged for 15 yards. So it just it sucks. So yeah, I mean, it's this idea of trying to clean up the image of the game.
Right.
Yeah. I think we got pretty much all the questions from the Discord.
I like this one. This one's good just because we haven't really talked about Matt. But someone asked, what's it like playing against Matt Ryan in practice? Is he just as competitive in practice as he is in games?
Yeah, he wants to get everything right in practice, and then whenever we go offense versus defense, he's trying to win that. Where they're talking shit to us and stuff for like offensive type of stuff. But yeah, you also want to you hope he does well against us because he's like if he does well against us, his mojo is going to be going well for the game. But then the coach is going to be yelling like, why aren't we on this play and that? Like, dang, Matt's a good quarterback now.
Right.
Yeah,
he's only an MVP.
Right. Top 10 all time in many statistics. I mean, like, what can you do?
Just about everything you throw at him, I'm sure he's seen. Unless you guys got something, that pretty much does it for us. Micah, you got something?
I just want to say one thing. Can we please get this man into the Pro Bowl and get him into the end zone on the pick six? I need to see the pick six. I need both of them.
If I get 2 pick sixes next year, I feel like a Pro Bowl is inevitable.
Oh yeah.
So let's put that into the air. Just give me 2 pick sixes next year.
For all the Falcons defenders, if Foye gets an interception, find a body and hit whoever's the fastest dude on the field, hit him.
Right. Don't just watch him. Don't just watch Foye. Find someone to block. I feel like sometimes people be like, oh, they're cheering for you, watching you running. They're like, yo, block somebody.
Like if we play the Chiefs, I need 3 bodies on Tyreek Hill. Just 3 bodies. He hit him. He get back up, hit him again. I don't care. Yeah. Make sure Foye gets into the end zone.
This guy said you can wear a Pro Bowl jersey wearing a Ravens jersey. If you go to Baltimore, Foye, it's over. Sorry. I know this is a greatly appreciated friendship for you, but that's where we draw the line.
That's where it is.
I don't know why y'all hate the Ravens so much. Is it just because of him that y'all don't like the Ravens?
Pretty much. All right. So that wraps us for us. If you got anything that you're doing in this offseason or do you want to highlight real quick, now's your chance. Anything you want to talk about? Otherwise, we appreciate you greatly.
I ain't got much I want to talk about. Just starting training and stuff. So hopefully it's gonna be another good off season. Get back in the routine. I go back out there to Denver where I train after I figure out where I'm gonna be at for next year, and then get into it.
I'm probably gonna be swinging by Dr. T's here in a little while. So if you're up there, maybe I'll say hey. But we appreciate you as always. What's that?
Shouting out the ugly game. No shout out to the ugly game.
Drop the link. Drop the link. Tell them where to find it. Tell them where to find it for you.
This is my name at foyeoluokun.com. You know what? I had a whole Valentine's Day drop and I forgot to this is bad business. I forgot to send out my shirt, but I'm still gonna wear the shirt like every day. Not every day, but a lot. It says ugly, but she loves me.
Ah.
I'm gonna have to get one of those.
Come
But
on,
it
come on,
was a
man.
cool little drop.
The
At
Economist.
FoyeOluokun.com. But yeah, I forgot to I was enjoying my time in LA and not worry about Valentine's Day. And I saw the Valentine's Day post go up when I got home. I was like, dang, that's crazy. I actually
Yeah.
getting up my shirt right now.
Yeah, you would have sold a grip of them things.
Yeah.
Mr. Economics gotta get his hustle on, man. Come on, man. Gotta sell.
My Mr. Demand spike, man. I missed it.
Yeah, man. Don't worry, you got it next year. Don't worry.
That's another question. We'll answer this another time. All right. Well, we're gonna hit the outro here real quick. We appreciate you. Stand by for a second, sir, and we will let you know what's going on. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Catch us soon in a couple of weeks when we will probably be catching up with Josh Brooks, the UGA athletic director, talking about their championship. And then stay tuned as things are about to change here for us. Foye, we appreciate you. Micah, as always, you're going to see us out here, sir.
If you like fishing, grits, and all that sports shit, everybody let me hear you say, oh, yeah.
And if you like fishing, grits, and all that sports shit, everybody let me hear you say, oh, yeah.